Welcome to Fresh Off the Set. I'm Carrie Hawker-Diaz.
And I'm Brooke Mangum. Thank you so much for joining us for another fun-filled episode. I am so excited to listen to this because it is a dear friend that is a guest on the podcast today, and she is just a barrel of trouble and so much fun, you know?
In so many ways. So we talked to Salsa Queen. If you haven't met the Salsa Queen, you need to, because her zest for life walks in before she walks in the room. Don't you think?
Larger than life personality in all of the right ways. What you see with Salsa Queen is what you get, and I love that so much. She embodies her brand. She is a powerhouse entrepreneur, and she has fought tooth and nail for every success that she's had, and it's just like, she just has such a beautiful energy about her. If you're not familiar with the Salsa Queen, I guarantee you have seen her salsas in every single grocery store that you go to.
Yeah, and you need to try them if you haven't, because they really are that good. Now, we met her. I've been on the show 5 years, and I feel like she's been coming on the show even before that.
She predates me. I've been almost, 4.5 years, something like that. And she was actually one of the first guests I ever interviewed. And I remember being a little bit nervous, and she's like, "It's okay, dear, I've got this." And she did. She's just goes, and she's so funny. Well, she taught me how to make official guacamole.
Well, she's good at that. And not only is she, a powerhouse entrepreneur, she really gives a lot of props to her husband, Jim, who really has helped her through this process. And she's powerful, she's I feel like spicy is a good way.
Yes.
I get it, spicy. But she's also one of the most kind human beings I've ever met.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to hear her full story. Should we take a listen?
Let's do it. I am so pumped for today's interview because she's one of my friends. She's been on Fresh Living many, many times. You know her as the Salsa Queen. Thank you for doing a podcast with us today.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm so excited. I know I'm the one that reached out and was like, hey, when am I going to be there? I know I've been on Fresh Living. I know you guys for a while. So I just wanted to come and share my story. So thank you so much for having me.
Well, I like this because we get a little bit longer with you. Instead of just 3.5 minutes on the show, we get, almost 20 minutes here with you. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Why did you start to sell salsa, and why did you decide to do that?
I've been divorced twice, married 3 times. So after my second divorce, I found myself very vulnerable in a place where I had no idea what I was going to do. When we came here to America, I didn't speak the language. I didn't finish high school.
When was this? When did you come here?
I was almost 18 years old, and I'm 50 now. So do the math, over 30 years. So yeah, it's been a long time. So, we were illegal. We didn't speak the language. So after 2 divorces, I found myself like, okay, what am I going to do with 7 kids?
Sure.
And then I met Jim, which Jim.
He's
Everybody knows
amazing.
Jim.
Yes, he's awesome. You guys are just like 2 peas in a pod.
Yes, I love him. And I met him, and he asked me, what would you like to do? And nobody had ever asked me that. I just thought my only talent I had in life was to bear children, because I did that very well.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
So, when he asked me that, I was like, oh my gosh, I can do something. So he knew I love food. So he's like, what about these pastries? And you know what? To make the story a little bit shorter, pastries are not my culture. I know there is some pastries, but, I wanted something that he spoke my language, my culture, something that I was passionate about. So I told him I want to make salsas. And as amazing as he is, he said, okay, salsas it is.
So he sparked this creativity by simply asking, what do you want to do?
Yes. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just knew I always wanted to do something that I wanted to have enough money to be able to have a good lifestyle. But I had no idea how that was going to come about or when. So it was when Jim came into my life, and he opened my eyes and gave me an opportunity to think about something that I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I still, at that point, I didn't know what, but I just knew I loved cooking. I had a passion for that. So I was like, hey, I want to make salsas. And he said, okay, let's do this.
And here you are running a powerhouse business of your own. That's so incredible. Okay, give us an overview of your career and how things have changed since you first started selling salsa.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty awesome. And I think you guys have seen a lot of that. When I started Salsa Queen, you guys adopted me pretty much right away.
Oh, we just love you.
So you guys have seen the whole story of
the whole journey,
the beginning to now. And actually, we started selling salsas on Facebook. Jim,
wow.
And I'm going to say Jim a lot because Jim is a lot in the story. But Jimmy's like, okay, we'll start selling them. And I'm like, how? And one of my biggest fears is rejection. And I was so afraid that people were going to be like, yeah, right, whatever. So anyway, he did a post and he said, hey, my girlfriend is selling salsas. If you guys want to do some orders, please, order them here. And, a few people did. And I was so excited. I was so nervous and I was so scared. I remember getting probably like 10 orders and I couldn't even do my math in my head. I was like, wait, one this, one that. And I mean, it was...
Just out of the 10 orders.
Crazy. Yes, out of the 10 orders. So we started making salsas and selling them out of Facebook, and we will go into parking lots and meet with people to exchange money for salsa. So we used to say that we were the salsa dealers, selling in parking lots and stuff like that. We will go to people's work and drop them off there. So that's kind of what we started. And then we started doing farmers markets, and we did Wheeler Farm Farmers Market.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah,
Every
have
Sunday.
you been there?
Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
I love it on Sundays. So we start doing that, and I remember I had a mentor, and that mentor said, only take 50 salsas, because if you take more and you don't sell them, you're going to feel very bad about the day. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take 100. And I took 100 salsas, and within 2 hours, we were sold out.
Oh, my gosh.
So I was like, every time I think about that, I kind of want to cry a little, because
Sure.
I remember having $500 in my hand after 2 hours and saying like, oh my gosh, I have never had this much money in my hand, especially something that I had made for it.
That
So,
you did yourself,
yes,
that you created. That's a
yes.
pretty awesome feeling.
It was an amazing feeling. And from there, the sky's the limit. And then I remember Jim saying, oh my gosh, what about some stores? And I would be like, oh, you're crazy. Like, that will never happen, kind of thing. But, he opened that vision. And I was like, okay, yeah, why not? So we started getting into some local stores, and then from there, the race is
Here
off.
we
Yeah.
are. Here we are. Well, I've been to your facility where you create and you make everything, and it's so fun to see kind of the behind the scenes and everything that you do. Do you have any moments in your career that really stand out to you? I know there's probably many, ones that are just like a wow factor.
Yes, definitely. Oh my gosh, it's almost every day, but you start getting things for granted, right?
Yeah.
Like, starts moving so fast, the career starts moving so fast that it's really hard for a lot of us business owners to stop and actually be like, look back and be like, oh my gosh,
I've come pretty far.
I have walked 1,000 miles and I didn't even notice it because I just been so busy. So it is very important for us, as business owners, to stop for a minute and be like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe it. Like, we just talked about it, right? From selling it from Facebook to now being in Kroger's and Associated Foods, big chains all around the country is like pretty amazing.
It's very amazing.
It's very amazing. So, and just to be able to have my kids look at my story, right? Because a lot of times we look at stories and we're like, oh, I have a friend, or I heard about this, and I always tell them, you guys are living it. You guys are living the American dream. A mother that came from Mexico with no experience on work, no education, didn't speak the language, and to be able to create something like this with the help of all of them, friends, family, is pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up I didn't grow up. I grew up in Mexico, but I started Salsa Queen in Magna, in this house that it was over 100-year-old home, that when it rained outside, it rained inside. So we were really, really poor. We had food stamps, we had Medicaid, and, so we come from very humble beginnings, but that was never my goal to live out of that. I'm grateful and happy that we have that help, but it wasn't a lifestyle I wanted to continue living. So, yeah.
So you changed that.
I changed that.
You definitely did. And I love how Jim is such a big part of this.
He
Good Jim. We
is.
have to shout out to him. Now, let's talk about, you were just on your reality TV competition show. Tell us what that's called and where we can watch it, and tell us all about it.
Ay, madre.
Here we go.
Okay, well, it was, national TV. It was a great food truck race on the Food Network. It was a fun experience. Obviously it's not for everybody.
Sure.
But it was great to see all the teams being so competitive, and, they all have dreams, and they all want, a different life for whatever reason they are. And, they put their whole heart into it, and they work hard. I mean, we were up from me 4:30 in the morning, and we were in bed probably until midnight.
Those are long days.
Those are really long days, mic all day, right? So it is like you have no privacy whatsoever.
Especially on camera. Now I have to ask you, because reality shows are known for a lot of drama, right? Is the drama created? Is it kind of there? Do they, you know?
I think they created it, you know.
Okay,
like,
okay.
They're like, okay, there's that Latina and she sounds
She's
and looks very spicy. So let's bring her on. You know, unfortunately, like I said, it's not for everybody. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. So I have a lot of respect for all the teams that they stay there and whoever won. You know, of course, we know who won. But it was a great experience. Would I do it again? Probably not.
That was my next question. Would you do it again? Would you do it again? And you just said probably not.
You know, something like that, no. You know, something that is so competitive, it is kind of hard, but, you know, maybe something more heartfelt, you know, something like that. It would be nice to be able to bring the whole family and to be able to share our story.
Yeah, that is you. You like to, you know, you have a big heart. And so I can see you wanting to do something that spoke to you next time.
Yes.
I could see, but it's good. It's good that you did it because
Now
you're
we know.
amazing. And now you know, and you know what, you killed it and you were amazing. Okay. So let's talk about advice that you'd have for other entrepreneurs who want to start their business and sell something. Maybe it's bracelets, hair stuff, or, you know, food. Any advice you have for someone starting?
You know, I have always asked myself this question, and I mean, I guess I know it now, but in the past I have always asked myself, like, why me? Like, why me? Why am I successful? There's so many other companies that they work as hard, if not harder than me, and nothing happens, right? But one time I was mopping the floor of the house, and I just stopped for a minute because it was a question that hunted me in a way. You know, I'm grateful and I'm not complaining, but it's like, why me? Mm-hmm. And I asked Jim, why me? And he said, because you had a necessity. I had a necessity to feed my kids. I had a lifestyle that I didn't want to continue living. I wanted to teach them that, you know, there's other ways to support yourself and anything that you dream. I mean, because I've been dreaming this since I was little. I know that people might say that it could be a lie, but to me, I was manifesting. I was dreaming. I used to tell my friends I had a huge house and nice cars and this and that. And it's not like that is all about, you know, but I was dreaming since I was little. And, you know, now it's a reality. So I will say I have a passion for it, definitely. And one of the things that I didn't have a plan B. It wasn't like, well, if this doesn't work out,
I'll fall back on this.
Then, you know, I'm a nurse, I'm an account. I was nothing. So it had to happen. So it wasn't like I was one foot in and one foot out. I was all in, and it was going to happen because it had to happen. Mm-hmm, so, you know, I feel like if you have that kind of mentality, you put all your heart to it and all your energy and everything, and the chances for them not to happen are pretty slim, don't you think?
Well, if you're so passionate about it and that's the only option you're giving yourself, especially if, you know, your reasoning behind it, your purpose is your kids.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to make it happen.
Yes,
one way or another.
absolutely.
You're going to make it happen. And I feel like, you know, you went from selling it to some friends on Facebook to the Wheeler farm, and then you went to stores, and now, you know, you're doing reality shows on TV, and you're just, you know, it's steps, and you're learning each time. I imagine you're still learning, right?
Absolutely.
As a business owner, do you feel like you need to be patient with yourself, that you're always learning new things?
Absolutely. It's definitely a painful road.
Not easy.
You know, it's not easy at all because everything falls on you, right? If you don't make things happen, they won't happen. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of responsibility and a lot of commitment, but, you know, it's good. And I just always feel too that I know that, you know, things are kind of going a little bit weird in this world right now, especially in this country. But I honestly feel like me coming from Mexico, if I came here to America with a lot of dreams, the opportunities are here. If you want to be successful, you can on whatever you want, as long as you want to, because the help, everything is here. Like, honestly, if you don't want your dreams to come true in this country, it's on you.
It's on you.
Yeah.
Well, that's who it starts with, because no one's coming to get you, right? Mm-hmm. No one's saying, look, here's your opportunity. Here's this. It's you. It starts with you. And I'm sure along the road, you've had many times thinking, I don't know if I can do this. This is tough. I can't, you know, this is And what helped you kind of get out of that mindset for people that are maybe starting a business and they're having a hard time? What helped you kind of get out of that?
To be honest with you, is all our Salsa Queen fans and every
the people.
business owner that has fans, because they sell whatever, they will understand that is those little phone calls, those little DMs, those little texts that people are like, oh my gosh, I'm in love with your salsa, or like, my kids don't eat any vegetables, but they eat your pico de gallo. You know, it's all those little teeny tiny things that they kept me going. I'm like, how can I let them down? They love my product.
Yeah, you got to keep going.
I have to keep going. So it wasn't like, well, it was this breakthrough thing that happened that it made me keep going. It's just that every little day things,
the people.
you know, even having, you know, an amazing team, and it's like, how can I let them down? You know, they have to support other families through me, right?
Yep.
So I have to keep going, you know, and this is a company that I started to put food on my table for my kids, a roof over my head for myself and my kids. And now, you know, we have created jobs. There's a lot of other people that they count on us and that they grow with us. So this is like, it is a dream, right? That's why they call it like
You're
a
living
dream.
the dream. You're
Yeah.
living the dream. Well, and speaking of the people keeping you going and loving your salsa, let's talk about the type of flavors of salsa that you sell. And maybe, is there a crowd favorite, and what's your favorite?
Absolutely. So we have our creamy jalapeno, queso chipotle, red chili, roasted tomatillo, pico de gallo, and mango pineapple. My favorite one is the pico de gallo. That was
Okay.
my baby. Like,
Okay.
that was the first
Okay, it's your
born.
firstborn, so you gotta love that one, right? Okay.
And it's so fresh and like lime juice. It's just so good.
It's good.
But definitely the fans' favorite is the creamy jalapeno.
That one's amazing
And then
too.
queso chipotle. Which one is your favorite?
I like the queso chipotle probably.
Yes,
That's my favorite one. That's
Yes.
good as like marinades and stuff too. I love that
Yes.
on meats. Okay, and your name is literally Salsa Queen. When did you change it and why?
Okay, well, I remember when Jim wanted to name salsa, you know, our salsa business Salsa Queen, and I said, that's the stupidest name. That's never going to happen. So I went to a networking event, and they said, okay, how can we remember you? And I was like, Salsa Queen. So I came home, and I'm like, okay, Salsa Queen it is. And, you know, everywhere I went, even when I came here, right, to Fresh Living, the Salsa Queen is here, the Salsa Queen. So nobody knew my real name. So I was like, you know what? Let's make it easy for me. Let's make it easy for everybody. This is the biggest accomplishment I have accomplished in my life.
Signed, sealed,
Let's do
delivered.
it.
That's so good. Well, it's just, it clicks. It works. Okay, if we want to order your salsa and find you, where can we go?
Okay, well, you can go to our website at salsaqueen.com, and you can find all the locations nearest you, and you can order online too. We have now the new salsas that we came out with, the freeze-dried salsas on the go that you just add water to them, and they are ready to go wherever you go, camping, backpacking, on a flight, on the road. I mean, you name it, you take Salsa Queen with you.
Well, and send it as a gift to somebody, like a
Exactly.
Salsa Queen gift pack. Oh my gosh, best
Yes.
gift ever. Okay, before I let you go, we're gonna do our fresh five really quick. There are 5 questions I'm gonna ask you off the top of your head. You ready?
Let's do it.
Would you rather have a personal chef or a chauffeur?
Ooh,
One or the other?
Chef.
Okay, Chef. Maybe we'll call Chef Brian, see if he's available.
I thought about him.
We'll see. Yeah. Would you rather read a book or watch a movie?
Watch a movie.
Okay. Would you rather spend a holiday alone or with family?
Family.
Family. You were a family person. I thought you'd say that. Okay. Would you rather be serenaded by Snoop Dogg or Mariah Carey?
Oh my gosh.
I love that question.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
'Cause that would be a funny
Because he's
experience.
edgy. He's funny. He's crazy.
That would be a memorable experience. Okay. Last one. Would you rather be able to fly or read minds?
Read mine. Oh, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Tough.
Probably read minds, but that will be very conflicting because you might not want to read what Alan is thinking about me right now.
He's in the room with us right now. You might want to know not want to know what people are thinking. Well, congrats to all your success. We are just so proud to have had you on the show and to have you on our podcast. And we love to see you grow in the future and follow your journey. And one more time, tell everyone where we can follow you.
Yes, you can follow us on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and our website is salsaqueen.com. So follow us and order some salsa.
Can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We're so happy to have you here. And thank you for listening to Fresh Off the Set. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Congrats, you made it to the end. If you want to continue to freshen up your day, you can watch us on Fresh Living every weekday on CBS Channel 2 in Utah at 1 o'clock. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel, KUTV Fresh Living, and follow us on social media. We will see